Well, hello and welcome to the Newtype Arena Podcast, Episode 2. My name is Ursa.
I'm Daxie.
And I'm Astral. And this week we wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with us once again, as well as we wanted to thank you for hitting 100 subscribers last week. That's
Yeah, that's
awesome. Thank
awesome.
you guys so
Woo!
much.
Thank you
I
guys
think
so much.
we're closer to 200 than 100 at this point, right?
We are now. It's
Nice.
great.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
freaking amazing. I'm so excited and I'm so thankful to everyone who took the time to subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it.
It
Yep.
means so much to us. Thank you.
It really does. It really does. Especially that we're just continuing to do better and up our quality, up our game a little bit with every episode. So hopefully it just goes uphill from here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's get into let's talk about what we're talking about today. Today we're going to be talking about the teases as of today for future Gundam TCG releases, the spoilers, and kind of speculate on some of the possible meta shakeups and what we predict the future is going to look like for the game as more sets and more cards get released into the environment. So let's first off open up the table. So how's everybody's week in Gundam TCG? How'd it go? Yeah, let's start with you, Astral.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. If you can't tell, this week was so much fun. I got to go to a couple new card shops here locally that were honestly super fun, super exciting. I did my first cube event where we kind of just drafted from a cube that somebody had put together. I went undefeated in that event. That was a lot of fun. I ended up with no color restrictions putting a deck together that had breach blockers, it had ping in it, and
It
it
was
seemed to work really well.
That's all the
It
stuff.
was Yeah, it was just everything.
Nice.
And it was low cost, so I didn't have to ramp, and it worked really well. So that was a lot of fun. The other
I, on
thing
the
I got
other
to do,
hand, went last place in that.
I
we
feel
start
like
somewhere.
seal just isn't your thing, is it?
It
Man?
is not. It is
See.
not my forte, man. I went and I played that cube, and I literally just built a green-white, almost like structure deck. Terrible curve. Terrible curve. Was
Oh,
not a good
that's
one.
rough. Luck of the draw too. I mean, let's just
Yeah.
blame RNG on that just
Yeah.
constantly
RNG, totally.
for sure.
Yeah, especially when you have 3 to 4 other people picking from the cards that you want to pick from as well.
Mhm.
It's definitely challenging, gives you a little bit more to think about. I know I took the longest to think about it. You all were giving me some grief for it. Like, hey, let's just get the ball rolling. And,
Three
that
pack,
little bit
moving
of
on.
Yeah, that little bit of extra time is what gave me an edge, and I truly do believe that. But the other thing, I know you mentioned your placement in there. I also did my first online tournament this week. That was a lot of fun. I didn't place nearly as well as I was hoping for in that event, but it was still fun getting to learn and play against the other people that I haven't exactly played at that level before. So it was interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong. There were a little over 50 people in
Yeah,
that.
54.
54. So I ended up placing, I think it was
Dang.
36 with my green white deck. And it made me really reflect on how I play and pilot that deck. It was
That's
definitely a challenge. There were decks I hadn't even seen before, which they blew my mind, to be honest, with how well that they did. There was one round, some dude threw out a baby unicorn and then threw out the other one, and
destroy
Let's
mode.
I
trade
think it
on
was
it.
yeah.
That's such a
So
sick
at like
combo.
turn 5, wiped me out, and I was like, huh? What just happened? And
Yeah.
it just really made me consider and think how I was playing the game. And I've now constructed a new deck that I'm excited to try out this week. So that's going to be interesting to see with these local tournaments, as well as playing again in that online tournament and seeing where I match up now. So it's been super informative and super fun. And I've had a good time.
Nice. I'm glad you've been enjoying the game so far. Um, cool. So Daxi, let's hear your week.
Yeah, so I went ahead, also played in the online tournament with Tony. As you heard, I did the cube as well. Did not do good in the cube whatsoever, but
Yeah.
it was a fun time regardless. A homebrew format, as you might say. Um, Online tournament was great. We actually did a little bit of sponsorship there. Ended up doing all right. Ended up placing 24th out of that, so halfway on the roster right there. So I was happy about that. Still though, kind of what Astral said. Um, some crazy deaths. There was a pure academy build, a tribal blocker that I went up against that did a lot better than I actually thought they were going to do. Surprisingly,
Well,
and it's just stuff you wouldn't see.
I'm actually kind of curious. So Academy is basically all white.
Mhm.
So what was its support color, or was it just playing mono white? Because that's a
It
flex.
was white, and the only splash of blue was Show of Resolve
Mm,
and Siege Ploy.
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's
So
a
that's
interesting.
interesting combination there.
Yeah.
Yep, and when you have 5 aerials out on the board, it's a very scary, formidable format to go up against, I will not lie.
Were they
But,
running
I believe it.
the permit score 6 or the rebuilds?
both.
Okay. Interesting.
Both in
So
there.
Soleto was stretched pretty thin, trying to fit into all those Gundams. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
absolutely. But I mean, that was good. We did some in-person events. I did a little bit of tweaking and just decided to run blue white unicorn, but I think I finally settled on the build I'm going to be taking to regionals. Might do just a hair tweaks here or there. But I'm pretty
well,
confident about this one.
I
Uh
mean, I wouldn't say that just yet because the main topic is all about the future
that's true.
and how different it's gonna look coming into regionals. But I am glad that you're enjoying the build so far of what we have. But
Yeah.
I
It's
just
been
want to
great.
put a pin on that one on the. I think I know I'm bringing to regionals because it's gonna, as we're gonna talk about, it's gonna look very different in my opinion.
I do think it'll do another loop around for sure.
Okay,
But I mean in the meantime, it's doing great. Went back to back undefeated in 2 tournaments this week.
nice.
So
Okay, so you
that was
topped both.
great.
Now I
Um,
do have a question for you.
yeah,
With you going back to back undefeated in these tournaments, is there any like feedback that you'd give the players you went up against and the kind of decks that you're seeing being played in these local tournaments?
yeah. So when it comes to local tournaments and all that, I've been seeing a lot of aggro right now. The 1 year rush, the blue green, as well as red blue ping, and then just a lot of still freedom blockers and unicorn. The thing that I've learned for any of your ping or aggro for blue white is you will just have to open up blockers. That's kind of what I've gone consistent. I've kind of said forget the overflowing now. Make sure I'm opening up with a Lifrith or a Demi Trainer, just so I have some white units or a 1 drop to toss out there. And you just gotta not worry about building big units right now. It is for up until turn 6, turn 7. You are purely just managing their board state. You are not trying to take too many shields, maybe 1 or 2, and you are just waiting to stabilize. And if you're pushing just the slightest bit too much aggro with that deck, you are going to lose.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. But
It definitely
Ursa,
changes up play styles.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But going on to it, Ursa, what about
Yeah.
you? How has your week been?
Yeah, my week has been a little on the scarce side. I got a little busy with work, so was only able to make one local event at an LGS. I went in with Unicorn Control, or kind of like a modified Unicorn Control. It's not. It's got a couple of tools in it that I wanted to play around with. Um, I did okay in it. I'm thinking that the meta is a meta for a reason, and maybe not be playing around with these extra tools. But we'll see. I mean, it could have just been bad matchups. I am noticing that the meta is shifting at lightning speed right now. I went across like a weird green blue build that was way more aggro than I was expecting it to be, while still weirdly being able to keep up with the blue support of the card draw. But it was kind of impressive to see this because last week or the week before, um, I never even heard of this deck. It wasn't even a thing, and now it seems to be kind of suppressing those main meta decks that we were seeing before. Um, but yeah, it was an experience, and I think the meta is constantly evolving right now. I don't think it's necessarily settled yet. Um, and we're just going to continue to see it evolve a little bit more. Um,
It's
hopefully,
definitely not gonna settle anytime soon, that's for sure.
hopefully not.
Yeah,
Hopefully, it kind of slows down a little bit though, because right now it just seems like every single time I go into a matchup, it's just a different deck I've never seen before, a whole different way of bringing your deck into this matchup, a whole different way of playing it. But yeah, that's kind of my week. Again, it's been kind of scarce, but I'm hoping to have more free time coming up so I can start participating in more locals.
absolutely.
But yeah, so actually, that does bring me to a question here: is where do you guys think the meta is? Do you think it's settling? I clearly don't. Um, so do you think it's still pretty open right now?
Astral, why don't you answer this one first?
Okay, so with the meta and the evolution it's been going through, especially over the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to see that, there were cards that weren't even in discussions starting to be thrown out and being used in ways that, I wouldn't quite expect. Like I went up against a deck this week that had blue, I believe it was a blue white deck, and it had units in there that only got like buffed abilities, and it you could have switched them out. It was almost interchangeable between a blue card and a white card, but and I'm not going to go into detail about it because I don't want to throw out too many hints. Still trying to play test myself and see certain combinations and how these things work for myself, which has been really interesting because it's slight variations that can make or break the deck just based off of the color of the card.
Absolutely.
Now, with that, it's also evolving very rapidly. I know back at the beginning when we were seeing the Xeon, that one, a lot of people were kind of getting their hopes high for it, and then it fell flat with the way that decks were being built and played. But now that we have all the GDO1 cards out, it's starting with that ping, starting to take a lot of people by storm. And there's not quite a way to counteract every single deck. I'm noticing it's luck of the draw. A lot of the time, people get down to top decking. And it's all coming down to how quickly this meta is changing and people are evolving these decks. And I'm really excited to see how it moves forward. I don't think it's going to necessarily slow down anytime soon. We have such a broad variety of cards right now. And with these broad variety of cards, you know, it's only going to keep changing. I'm interested to see how it changes up until regionals. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm also super excited because the way that Bandai has really pushed this game out, it's allowed for a lot of growth, and I only think it's going to grow more from here. So I'm super excited to see that and where it goes from. Now, I know we had been talking about it, Daxi. What are
Yeah.
some of the things that you've seen?
Honestly, just by playing through like our online tournaments and all that and logos going around, there has still been that aggressive ping going around. Um, but kind of like what we brought up in last week's episode, I feel like the meta's kind of going in a circle, to be honest with you. I do think by just seeing all the tournaments across the board and checking daily on like top list and tier list, it does look like Unicorn Blue White is back on top right now. Its biggest contender though is still Green White. I just feel like that deck is consistent when piloted well. If you can't stop them from ramping or
Or those
really,
blockers?
yeah, or meticulously control their board state, I feel like Green White does usually overrun the Blue White. So I'm still kind of learning how to deck tech that myself. But when it comes to the meta, I do feel like it is going to shake up again. I think for right now, we're gonna get kind of what we're talking about, starter decks and stuff coming out. I do think that's going to shake it up a bit. I think it's settled down for right now up until that point. I think we've kind of seen what people can brew for the most part. I'm sure there's still one or two decks out there that people haven't discovered yet. But I do feel like it's kind of settled down to these are the top three right now. None of them are better than the other in any means. They're all kind of on an even playing field. But unless you're running one of those three, whether it be for me red, green, or blue white or green white, I feel like you're gonna have a hard time at a lot of your locals, to be honest with you, until we see what the future holds.
Gotcha.
Oh, definitely.
Gotcha. Well, I guess time will tell what sort of things shape up to be. But yeah, I think we all have the same kind of sentiment where it's a rapidly evolving game still. The game hasn't been figured out yet, which is great. We want to see that. We want to see complexities. We want to see people testing with new things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, and kind of just going from there and seeing the natural evolution of kind of a natural selection of decks pretty much.
Yeah.
So before we move into our main topic, I just want to say this is a little different of a format than our first episode, where obviously we're communicating over Discord. We just had a
Yes.
little bit of a scheduling issue, so we're trying it out here now. Hopefully, this also fixes a little bit of the audio issues from the first episode as well.
Fingers
Um,
crossed.
but once we are ready to move into being back all together talking, we should have that fixed as well. So I just wanted to mention, yes, we are aware. And we are constantly just trying to improve the quality of our podcast. And this is our fix for now. Also, just a way that we're able to connect with our individual schedules. So, with that
And
being said,
and
oh, yep, yep, yeah.
one thing that I noticed last week as well, we really appreciated was we got a lot of feedback on these episodes. We always love to see the feedback from the community,
Oh yeah.
and we're
Absolutely.
always open to it. As our podcast continues to evolve, like you were talking about, we'll always love to hear the feedback, hear about what you guys want to hear, even give some suggestions on kind of topics you guys would want to hear from us in the future.
Yeah,
We're
for
always
sure.
open to that, and we'd be really appreciative of that as well.
We want to put out what you want to see, pretty much. So
100%.
just let us know.
We're here for
Um,
you, the pilots.
yeah. But that being said, let's go ahead and get back on topic and move into the main topic, actually. So, the future of Gundam TCG and our speculations. So, where is it headed? And what do we know so far about the spoilers for upcoming sets and releases and products? So let's go ahead and let's bring it over to Daxi um, with our first.
We know the first thing that's gonna be going on and coming out here the soonest is gonna be Starter Deck '05, Iron Bloom, and that's gonna be Iron Blooded Orphans theme. It is going to introduce the new color purple with it, and it is going to be a purple white structure deck. We're gonna get the likes of some of the spoilers we've seen. Obviously, Gundam Barbados. I think it's interesting they're putting him into forms as kind of just through the series, the mech itself grew. They're putting each part of that growth into forms. Although, just for me personally, I do hope Lupus Rex, when it comes out, is going to have its own card. I think that'll be beautiful whenever they decide to release that. Um, but that does come out here September 26th, so it's coming up pretty quick. This is also going to be the deck that very well could be regionals legal by like 3 days for LA.
Yeah, so
And so,
for sorry to interject here, but so I believe the rule is if a product's been out for 8 days, right? They are
yes,
legal
they're pretty.
in sanctioned events. So this comes out right before regionals, like with just enough time to be allowed to be played with.
Mm.
So
It's gonna put waves through the community. It's gonna be interesting to see.
yeah, for sure. Sorry to interrupt. You can go
Oh
ahead
no,
and continue.
no,
But
you're all
just
good.
wanted to
So it'll
clarify
be,
the rules as to what you're talking about.
yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate it. It'll be interesting though. With this, we're gonna get a bit new mechanics with this new color. It'll be interesting to see if people have time to implement it, and if they do, is it gonna do well? Is it gonna crash and burn until people figure it out? How far can they progress with it in the current meta state in that little of time? Because as of right now, we have yet to get a deck list or any more spoilers for it, except for a few cards. And so with that, we have gotten some imaging and all that for the fourth form. We've seen some leaks for it on the internet of abilities and all that and effects it'll be getting. We also know what the pilot's effect is going to be doing, which is going to be Mikazuki. And then we also have the second form card fully revealed as well. And so we'll definitely talk about that and go over that. But Ursa, I want you, if you don't mind, why don't you explain to us Purple kind of what they revealed the mechanics doing and how do you think it's going to be implemented into this game?
Yeah. So throughout the history of basically any TCG that I've ever played, um, it's always a very fun mechanic to play with your own life, and as you get damaged or closer to dying, you actually get more powerful. That's a very similar mechanic in a lot of other TCGs I've seen. Purple seems to be that. I think the archetype of using your trash um, as essentially an extension of your hand is an extremely powerful mechanic. It's an extremely powerful archetype. Um, Things that go away don't stay away. We have kind of like a little taste of that with the Char um, pilot with the Gulag, I believe. It's the one where you can like discard a card and just bring him out of the trash and immediately link him.
Hmm.
So we've already seen a taste of how powerful using a trash as an extension of your hand can be. I think having an entire color based around that sort of playstyle, um, not only is it going to be powerful, but it is a lot of fun as well.
Oh, yeah.
To not mind as much when things start going in the trash because you're going to see them again. And then going back to the other half of what we've seen Purple do, the self damage to sort of fuel your effects to make your units more powerful on the attack. That's also a very fun mechanic. I am starting to like kind of theorize about a lot of these supporting cards or filler cards going back to previous topics of the podcast that help support this game plan even more. Deal damage to a unit to do something more powerful than you would with just paying resources. Deal damage to a unit to deal even more damage on the crackback to another unit, for example. This sort of playing around with your life. It's a very powerful mechanic. I would have to say they might have to be a little careful when developing some of these cards because they might be a little pushed if they're not careful enough. But all in all, it's a classic sort of mechanic or philosophy of gameplay that I'm glad they're finally bringing into full effect with this new color.
And this is going to be interesting for someone like myself. I didn't start playing competitively with card games until Gundam came out, and so the Gundam TCG. So it's going to be interesting for me to witness firsthand these kind of effects after not really seeing them before. So
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty cool, but at the same time, it has me a bit on edge, the dealing damage and taking damage, because you got to really manage that really well as well.
It's another layer of resource management, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with that being said, I think it'd be a good time to bring up the first spoiler we have for the deck.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, and the first full one we have for that is going to be the Barbados second form. Nice thing about this is it is a level 4 cost 2 purple card. It is a 2/4 for its stats, but it has the ability while this unit has damage on it, it gains +2 AP. Now, something very noticeable about that effect is it is not until end of turn. It is not during battle. It is as long as this unit is damaged, it is now a 4/4. Well, technically, we'd have it a 4/3.
It would be
Um,
effectively a 4-3. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it does link with Mikazuki Agus, which is going to be our pilot, and that is also going to bring it up. He's a 2/1. We don't have his cost just yet, But with it, when he links, you get to choose one enemy and one friendly unit and deal 1 damage each while granting that 2/1. So you automatically get that to be a 6/4, and it's just second form for a level 4 cost 2. So for 3 cost on your 4th turn, you have a 6/4 out there. I think that is gonna be a crazy stat to overcome. That's
Yeah.
right on up there with pretty much an early wing, I would say, minus obviously the breach effect.
This is with the
Uh,
speculation that the pilot costs 1, which
yes,
we've
this
seen
is
so
with the
far is, yeah.
speculation, but I think as it stands right now, we don't have any other pilots that cost more than 1.
Yeah, we don't. They've all cost 1 so far. But I mean, who knows, right? We're kind of shooting in the dark here. I wouldn't be surprised if they made more uh more pilots out there that might cost differently in some way. But yeah, I mean, going off of the speculation of what we know, every pilot costs 1, so it would be a 3 cost 6/4, which is insane.
Mhm.
Costing only 2 cards in hand. Um, yeah, that's that's a lot of power on the field for such a low cost.
Right?
Especially in early game. That's gonna put some pressure on your opponents, especially with that pilot. It's that ability to choose one enemy and one friendly unit and deal 1 damage to them. That's gonna be pretty much kind of like a ping at the beginning early game, and it's going to allow you to control the board a little bit more there.
Mhm. And
For
that's
sure.
why I think this deck, what we might see it interrupt, to be honest, um, is your red blue ping, your red aggro. A lot of those
Really?
units have 1 HP. They deal damage to your units, and they have to do it. Same with like an ink shot. It is not a May. And so if they are pinging your purple units, they are making your purple units get stronger. And if your purple units also get a ping them for 1, you're shooting down their smaller ones while also forcing them to make your guys stronger.
I was actually thinking the first thing that came up to my in my head when I saw this card was Battle of Aces, though.
Yeah,
Um,
really. So,
Uh,
that's going to be kind of the Achilles heel. It's good. I think that card's going to become much more powerful because you're already chip damaging your own units. So the ability to free deal 3 extra damage to the things that you yourself are chip damaging. I think that card's gonna. I would look out for that card. I would keep an eye on the prices of that card if I were a betting man.
that's fair. I think that's a very good point to make.
Yeah.
it really is.
And then I don't know if there are other cards that do that. That have a more powerful effect if they're damaged. But if so, I would say they are going to be a hard combat to purple. But also, when building a deck, you don't want to tech into one specific matchup either. So it's kind of a trade off. Um, but yeah, I think I would like to see a purple X and blue red ping go up against each other, just
Mm.
to see that kind of matchup and what they do with each other. Because you're right, they are powering your purple units up, but they also
That is if all
have
purple units gain
uh,
attack power from, per se, dealing damage. It
yeah,
might have different effects. That is a very strong possibility.
that is
Yeah,
true.
and then are we going to see people controlling the board? Or are they going to be pinging off the shields with that extra damage? Because if somebody throws out, say, a base that is a like 6 HP base,
Mhm.
when that Barbados takes the damage, and now it's at that 6/4, it could one shot that base if it's not taken out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
So
for
are we
three
going to see the
resources.
damage?
That's
Yeah, are we going to see the damage going towards the bases, or are we going to see it going towards units, or a combination of both?
Now
I
build
think
those
It's going to
underground
be
bases.
interesting.
I think it's just a beefy unit that can go at whatever you need to take care of at that time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but who knows, right? Who knows kind of what the game plan is for somebody constructing a deck using these mechanics. It's also not necessarily just an AP buff. I believe there is a very credible rumor that what is it, the fourth form
The fourth
will
form,
get
yeah.
suppression upon having damage marked on it.
Yep.
Which
And that's a new effect.
Cost 4.
yeah. So that's for those of you who don't know, suppression is when it deals damage to a shield, it takes out 2 shields at once.
Yep, simultaneously damage is dealt.
So that's pretty gross. I can see, I can, I'm already kind of starting to brew like a black red full aggro, just like complete smooth
Really?
brain attack in. Yeah, because you have all those like you have the quick units and the direct damage from the red, followed by the extreme aggression that I think purple will offer. Um, and then it'll kind of be fun to with a combination of all that still having card advantage by using your trash of the things that you slam into and trade off and stuff. But who
Yeah.
knows, right? Um, yeah, I think that card just as an early game, putting an insane amount of damage on the board or AP on the board, while also doing a little bit of chip damage on the way in because you're chipping yourself as well as an enemy unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a very exciting card, and I can't wait to kind of see it in its natural environment in the local scene, and what people make with it. So yeah, that's STO5. So let's move on to the other pre-constructed deck that's coming out kind of along with it. Um, so Astral, why don't you want to take it away?
Yeah, so I'm excited to talk about this one. STO6 with the release date estimated to be around October 24th. Now, this deck, Clan Unity, it's going to be the Gundam G-Quux deck. What that's going to be is it's going to be red-green. We're going to have Gundam G-Quux and the Red Gundam. It's going to be interesting. The Red Gundam, we've seen some spoilers for that. It's going to be a level 4 cost. And then, or it's going to be level 4 cost 3 with a 4 AP and a 3 HP. It's going to have Breach 1. And on attack, you can choose 1 to 2 friendly clan units. They get plus 2 AP during this turn. That is going to be a massive buff on your attack power for that turn. It's going to allow you to do a lot more than anticipated if you have that. And it's going to honestly give you a bit more control on your own board. Now, what I'm excited for too is the pilot. Of course, for anybody who's seen G-Quux, Red Gundam pilot, Shuji Ito, he's going to be clan Newtype, and his bonus is going to be a +1 AP and a +2 HP.
Really cool if they took the G-Quux, right? And the Red Gundam in that character alt, kind of like they did with the Kshatriya in the Unicorn Destroy mode. They make the linking like artwork together of them falling through the Kira Kira. I think that would be a really beautiful card. I know I would
That
pick
would
it.
be so cool. I would have to buy it if I didn't pull it myself. That's something I definitely want to invest in
Oh,
and then
like a
display.
panoramic like view by putting the 2 cards together. Yeah, I like when card games do that for sure.
Oh, 100%. But to keep talking about this deck, we're not quite done there.
Yeah.
With Shuji, he is a pilot, so during his link on attack, if you have a clan unit in play, it'll allow you to look at the top card of your deck and return it to the top or bottom of your deck. That's going to give you a bit more control in your hand there, allowing you to decide whether or not you want that next card or not. Now, with that, of course, it's a little bit of spoilers. It's the G-Quux and the Red Gundam. These are 2 that we're going to be seeing in this deck. Now, to spotlight on the ability with the Red Gundam, I don't believe we've had a full release of the G-Quux yet, but with that Red Gundam, we know that it's going to have that Breach 1, the AP buffs, the clan synergy. going to be interesting to see how people incorporate that deck, especially with it being red green to the red green meta that we have now. I know we're seeing a lot of the ping damage. This will add breach in there as well. It's going to be pretty cool. And then for Shuji, that link ability with the deck filtering, it's going to allow you to have a bit more consistency there. And it's going to be pretty fun to be able to play out and see how that works out. Now, I just wanted to ask you guys, like, how do you feel this clan synergy compares to the iron-blooded orphans that we just talked about in this deck compared to the last?
I think that's a great question. I think it's kind of hard to tell because we don't know pretty much what the white aspect of that deck is going to do. But when it comes to the possible suppression and the pinging and negativing, I think it's going to be hard to beat because you're going to be having purple going and gaining all this attack power but losing health. And then you're going to have this green, which is gaining a bit of attack power, maybe not as consistently, but you have the breach as well. I think people might be editing the decks a little bit, maybe swapping out a color entirely. I think, and what came to my head as you were bringing that up with that spoiler is, with it getting that breach one, but that +2 AP to all your clan units. If you play a linked, just regular Gundam from STO1 Heroic Beginnings linked, you're also getting a plus AP on that as well. So you're getting 3 to every unit. Your 3/3s become 6/6.
That's base busters right there. They're going to be doing some massive damage. So, and it's going to be how do we counter that at that point? Because with them being the 6 AP, we're going to be able to take out blockers.
Yeah.
And so they might have to crash
blockers.
it. They may have to crash it. But those late game blockers are no longer going to be as formidable of a threat.
I'm sorry. I'll take a 6/3 Zoar and crash it into a freedom all day. All day. Or an L.
6/3
Done.
Zoar.
Sign me up.
100%. It's not even going to be a matter of question at that point. It's going to be, hey, this is just predetermined muscle memory at that point. So
I am
What about you, Arsa?
I'm personally very interested in seeing black or purple. Sorry. I just love the mechanics that purple will seems to offer for deck play. I think that the clan synergy or the clan unity deck is going to be a bit more synergistic if going back to answer your question. However, I think the Iron-Blooded Orphans or Iron Bloom deck is going to bring a lot more toys that are a lot more fun to build around into the environment, into the card pool itself. So yeah, clan unity probably a little better in terms of how everything works together. I mean, everything seems to revolve around if you have extra clan units in play, or sort of just caring about the clan keyword. It seems like there's a lot going into that. But I'm a bit more excited about the Iron-Blooded Orphans.
yeah, and so to kind of talk on that a little bit, I know you're excited for Iron Blooded. I am as well. I'm also excited for this to see the G-Quux and the Red Gundam. Now, what kind of players do you think are going to be playing this deck? I know with the meta changing, we're all shifting our decks, but realistically, who do you think is going to try and migrate a bit towards using this one?
Wing. That's my vote. Wing players. Through and
You think
through.
so?
Yep.
Interesting.
Now, we talking them using the Wing Gundam Zero in this deck?
I mean, I think it'd be a nice plus to it. But it is 4 clan units, so I really do think we have to see what that clan archetype presents itself as. How many cards are released with the clan archetype in that starter deck to see if it's useful or not. I think that trait in and of itself will be the deciding factor on how integrated it is to be played.
That's very fair.
I do agree with that. It's going to be a make or break. And how can we incorporate it? We'll have to just wait and see again.
Well,
Now, I wish we didn't have to wait as long. I'm so excited
You're
for
so
it.
excited for this starter deck.
I think it'll be
Yeah.
here in no time. I think before we can really, before I think the meta even settles, we're gonna have this injection of all these new cards, and it's just gonna shake it up again. And while there's probably gonna be a lot of pieces in the starter decks that we're gonna get, we do have a whole new set that's gonna go alongside with it. So there's more likely than not, there's going to be quite a bit more clan units to kind of synergize even heavier with GDO2. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and move on into talking about GDO2, which is our third, not spoiler because I've already been spoiled, but future products that are going to be released that we know about so far. So Daxi, why don't you go ahead and cover at least some of the set?
Yeah, no worries. So we technically kind of gotten only 3 spoilers of like the highlight cards that are going to be coming out in GDO2. It will be coming out technically the day after the starter deck. And so I do agree. Hopefully we see some clan units in there. I know this one is primarily focused on Gundam Age and Gundam Mobile Suit Gundam Zeta, as well as a little bit of Witch from Mercury in there as well, as the main sets coming out for this. But the first one that they announced was actually one of my favorite Gundams of all time, and that is Gundam X. It's going to be level 7, cost 5, 6.5 on that, and that it's going to have suppression on it. Again, that's that double damage to each shield. And then during Link, during your turn, while there are 7 or more cards in your trash, all your other Ultra, so we're going to assume that that's the trait that it's going to have. Vulture units get plus AP2. And its link is going to be Garrett Rand, very famous Gundam pilot from the show. We don't have any details on him yet, so I'm excited to see what he does. But I think it's interesting. We're seeing a lot of buffing on attack power coming out of these new cards, and them definitely making use of this new suppression mechanic. I think I'm really curious what Bandai's planning to do with it. If they're trying to make games even quicker than they already are, or if they're just going to be setting up the stage for a couple more mechanics to really make those complicated combos come out. And I think that's where it will really separate the sheep from the flock. Is like, because for example, Ursa, you came from Magic, right?
Yeah, pretty extensive Magic background, I'd say.
Yeah, and me personally, Yu-Gi-Oh and all that. And as we got into it late game with Standard, there are some very complicated combos that pull off on your higher end meta decks that take multiple steps. And I feel like Gundam is slowly setting up the stage for that, and I'm very curious to see where it goes with that and with this card.
Yeah, I find it kind of interesting that it has this during Link and the condition of having 7 or more cards. At level 7, that should just say if you've been playing the game at all. Because, like, especially with how aggressive purple seems to be with damaging your own stuff to deal more damage output, your stuff is going to be dying or being destroyed. So that's an interesting. I wonder how aggressive the whole like play from your trash is going to be. Maybe it's a little bit. They don't want to. It's a way to like kind of tamper it. Like if you're bringing too much stuff out of your trash, um, you won't have those 7 cards, I guess. But
it does make me wonder with these overflowing affections. Draw 1, discard 1. You're going to be able to discard a card you may want to set yourself up with a little bit.
Yeah. I think we're going to see some sort of like mill mechanic in purple too. That's just like a wild speculation, but something where just like, bring stuff out of the top of your deck, put it in the trash. there you go. You have more toys to play with for later on. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that when that line came up, I was that raised some questions about like why such a low number? Because I mean the Banshee unicorn, it's 12 cards, which is
Yeah,
an insane amount. It's You're probably going to be there at that point with like at least 12 by the time Banshee comes out. But 7 just seems like such a low number, and it's not taking them out of the trash either, like Banshee does. Um, it's just if you have 7 or more, which is, I don't know, it just seems very uh,
interesting.
Yeah, it seems interesting to be like, um, to wonder why that is a condition in the first place for it being such a low number.
I agree. I agree.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, very solid point to make.
Yeah. Well, cool.
But moving
That's
forward, Ursa, you had one you wanted to talk about.
Yeah. So the spoiler that I get to talk about is the Zeta Gundam. It is a white unit. It's level 6. It costs 5. It's a 5/4. During Link, activate main once per turn. So I know that's a lot of conditions, but you just activate it during your main and only once. Choose one active friendly base, rest it. If you do, set this unit as active. And it can't choose the enemy player as the active target during this turn, similar to like the Zowart. You can't hit base, shields, or players, essentially, once it does that. It links with Camille Bidan. I don't know. I don't watch the anime. I'm sorry. So I might have messed up the
No, you got it.
pronunciation.
You
But
got it.
perfect. So this card is interesting. I think there are some cards that require you to rest a base to get the juice out of it.
Mhm.
But there are also ones where you don't need to rest it to use its ability. I'm thinking of like Archangel, for example. Pay 2 to ready a blocker. That doesn't require you to
Yep.
rest it, so you can still get the use out
Utility.
of that ability, um, and still activate Zeta's ability as well.
Mhm.
Um,
And I don't know about you, but I kind of interpreted it as you can attack a base, rest your own, stand it up, and then attack unit. It's like a double strike almost.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And that double strike, even though you can't attack a person, allows for more board control for sure.
Oh,
And this
definitely.
is coming
Yeah,
from white of all things, where we're seeing all our blockers currently.
yeah. I think it's
So
starting to move a
now,
little bit more aggressive
yep,
in
that
this set
aggro.
with that. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's kind of I don't think we know what Camille does yet.
No, unfortunately not yet.
Okay. So more to come for sure. Um but yeah, let's that's pretty much all we have for this, unless you guys have any more thoughts on the Zeta Gundam.
I think it's gonna be interesting the tricks people are gonna do with resetting it.
Mhm.
Um, if they're gonna just crash it, there's gonna be a link, right? So I don't think it's gonna be any more than a +2 on attack, right? Because it's during link, and we don't know what the link ability is. But whether it's a 6/5 or a 7/5 or a 7/6 even,
Oh, you think it's
um,
gonna be a
I
2-2 pilot?
if that's a 2/2, Zeta Gundam, I feel like is gonna be meta in some regard or used.
Yeah.
Because that's just a bunker buster, gets to swing and attack a big boy out on it. It's a 2-for-1 to crash him out. But he is a little bit late game. He's level 6, so I think you are kind of careful about what units you're trading at that point. You got to be smart about it. But I think it'll be interesting to see White getting this aggression right now.
And with the green white build, I'm wondering how people might be able to incorporate that into a green white rant build as well.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Um the thing that actually this actually brought up a thought of mine is it's going to put a lot more value on having a base out as well. Um
Mm,
Not like
And then
bases aren't
suppression.
valuable as they are, but usually you use those as okay, you have to waste an attack to finish this base off.
Yeah.
Now there's even more value to have by having one out.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit more. Maybe that's gonna increase the number. If a deck is playing Zeta Gundam, they might increase the number of bases that they slot into the deck. Just to make sure that you have one out when this level 6 unit comes out. But again, who knows? It's just
Yeah.
it's just fun to speculate and kind
It
of
really is.
predict. Yeah, this is turning out to be a really fun podcast to talk about because we're just like I don't know, but maybe.
Maybe.
And
We'll
Yeah.
see.
I know we love talking about this even when we're not on the podcast. Ooh, what's this gonna do? Ooh, what's this gonna do?
Oh
You
yeah,
Oh
guys
all the
seen
yeah,
this
time.
one yet? Like, I
yeah.
think, what was it? 6 a.m. We got a text from you, Daxie. Have you guys seen the new spoiler? And
You
That
can't
we were
soft
like,
call out.
kid. I do
it,
need I do need to be more polite about that.
Well,
To sending you guys
you work
spoilers
odd
at 4 in
hours,
the
so
morning.
yeah,
It
it's all
just
good.
dropped
but
in
so
Japan, guys. Did you guys see
it's
what
so
Japan's doing
exciting.
for
Yeah, it's
Pride
like noon
support?
in Japan, guys. What are you doing? Like,
Uh,
Oh,
but
okay,
yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about one more card, I know we've been talking
yeah.
about these two.
Astral
yeah.
close it out with the GDO 2 spoils.
Yeah, the one that I wanted to talk to is it's gonna be the Gundam AGE-1 normal. Now it's going to be a green card. It's gonna be a level 3 cost 2 with a 2 AP, 2 HP. And
Okay.
then this one has an interesting deploy ability. So when this one deploys, it says you may discard one green Earth Federation unit card. If you do, place one EX resource. Then, if you are level 7 or higher, draw one. Now, this is a pretty early game card. It's kind of, I would compare it with it being a green unit to the bird mode Wing Gundam because they're both level 3. This one is level 2 though, or it's a cost 2 instead of a cost 3. Yet you still, if you have one of those cards and you are willing to discard that Earth Federation, you can still place an EX resource, which allows you to ramp. So I know since I've been playing green white for so long, this makes me excited because it's a cheaper card, even though it's the same level, but it gets me excited for it. And
And it picked you up for purple too, with putting the cards in the trash.
yeah, that's very true. Now it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays. I'm not quite sure yet. Again, we don't have a ton of spoilers. This is just one that we picked out to talk about, but I'm definitely excited to see how it plays. Now, the interesting thing about this one as well is it does have a link. It's going to be the Asuno family trait, and so it will have a link. I don't know if we have any information on the links yet themselves, just like with the previous
Yeah.
one. But
Yeah.
it's going to be cool to see how this one comes out and plays, because is it going to replace certain cards in a green white deck? Is it not? I mean, even possibility of a green purple, we don't know.
Now,
So
The Green
at
Goblin, the Gwurple.
at
yeah,
risk of this sounding like a meme, which is the Earth Federation? Is that that's the Grandpa Gundam and all that, right? And like Gun
Yep.
Tank and stuff.
Shira, I believe,
Okay,
is a Earth
because this
Federation.
is we're two of two podcasts where I get them confused. So
Yep.
and then Earth Alliance is
Earth.
like Strike Gundam and Kira and all that, right?
Yep.
Okay,
You're right.
cool. So maybe we're gonna see like a green blue like pure Earth Federation build that has like from GDO
with ramp,
one like Grandpa Gundam and all that stuff and like
Mm-hmm.
and then
You just have the RAM card for it, yeah.
but
it's gonna be interesting.
it will be interesting because there's quite a bit of synergy that goes along with like there's a lot of I think there's a decent amount of units that have like just it cares about Earth Federation as a trait in its entirety.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Um this one is a little interesting because it has to be a green Earth Federation unit. And currently I don't believe we have any of those yet. So it's really going to come down to what's going to come out of this set. That's going to be, okay, how many targets am I likely going to have with this deploy effect to get this proc? And it's also odd that it kind of cares about like, okay, well, you get a little bit more juice out of it if you're in the pretty late game. Like if you're at level 6 and you have this, you get to draw a card because you're going to be at level 7 with that EX resource.
And that could be critical in your gameplay if you draw into a link with that.
Yeah.
So
That, I mean, drawing cards is just good in general. This seems like a fun way that green is kind of going about it. We've typically seen green be like a manipulate the top and bottom, or the top to the bottom of your deck kind of mechanic, as its card selection, not necessarily card draw. This is just raw card advantage or replacement, I guess, because you're discarding and drawing. But um, yeah, it's kind of cool, and I kind of want to see what Earth Federation's gonna turn out to be. Um, it also kind of brings in the theory that the game developers are comfortable with crossing over to different colors when working with traits. For example, like I think there's only like a couple of Academy trait units or cards that are blue. 90% of them are in white, I would say,
Yeah.
if not more or less around that amount, an insane amount. But here we're seeing like, no, we're going to have Green Earth Federation cards and we're going to have effects that care about outside of the color that you're used to for these traits.
yeah. And we don't have all that information yet. It's going to be slowly released to us, hopefully, and then once that GDO2 comes out, it's going to be interesting to see. There are.
Want to
Go ahead.
say, yeah, just on Ursa's comment there, though, I do want to follow up, kind of like Marita Cruz. You know how you have to use her for Kasatria and Banshee.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if there is not a good opposite to it, that might actually end up hurting certain archetypes and colors by them doing that?
I
Sorry. Yeah, go for it.
That's an
Ashley.
interesting concept because I was going to say there are certain links, and that's something I wanted to talk about. We see with these 3 cards we talked about, we don't know what the links are going to be yet. We see the cards, we don't know the link. So, like Marita Cruz, with her linking ability, we really don't know because it's going to be changing as time goes on. Now, it could possibly hurt you in the long run, especially if you're running, say, like 2 links in a deck, and then you'd have to be kind of lucky drawing into that and getting the link. Hopefully, it has some good abilities there, but I'm hoping that they kind of expand a little bit more, give some more options. Right now, it's seeming really localized to those cards specifically, but again, we don't exactly know what they have in store for us.
I think it's a pretty responsible thing of the game developers to be doing, actually. And my theory is that if you have Marita Cruz, let's take your example, and it only basically the only way you can play Banshee to its full effect is if you play red blue. So that package is exclusive to those color combinations. So what you're going to have when you have it, let's extrapolate from this and say we're going to have all of these cross color combinations of links and units. You kind of go a little bit more flat and wide with the powerful things you can put in decks. So this color combination have these powerful combinations of units and pilots. This color combination has this other one, and you're not going to see a crossover of these unit pilot combos in one deck. So you're spreading out the power across these different combos by forcing you to play a unit of one color, a pilot of another color that live together. If that kind of makes sense.
It
Rather than
does.
just going
So,
tall, like let's just take Magic for example. You have 5 colors that you can have all the best cards in one color. But with this color restriction that this game offers, it kind of it spreads you thinner, pretty much.
So do you think that's going to limit the amount of construction people can do in a constructed deck
I
with that limiting factor then?
Yeah, I think initially it's going to lock you out of some cards. Not every card can go in every deck. But let's say I really don't have a good analogy other than using Magic as an example. But I know this is a lot of people's first card game, so I don't want to use that. But let's just say you want to build one game plan of a card of a deck.
Okay.
And let's say the card pool of this color, let's say you want to build only white, okay? And let's say all of white's cards are available to you. Well, this kind of just trims the fat and gives you the option to play with cards that are only really relevant in white because you're only pairing it with blue, for example. So,
Yeah.
yes, it restricts colors, but it also spreads the power out. Or, sorry, it restricts options in deck building, but it spreads the power out across color combinations, not necessarily just this color, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. And with this being my first card game, I appreciate you kind of explaining it the way you do. Like, competitive card game, I should say. I've been collecting Pokemon for years now, but like even when I was playing that, you had certain colors go to certain colors, and that was that. So seeing how people construct these decks has been a bit of a change for me, and I'm learning as I go on, and hopefully I'll continue to grow and be successful in my ability to play the game. And I'm excited to see as they release these new products how it's going to give me the ability to start tweaking these decks in ways that I feel could be good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we're all kind of still learning the game a little bit. I mean, we were just talking
I'm
at the
going
beginning of
full
this
aggro.
podcast how quickly the meta has been shifting. I don't feel like I'm keeping up with it to the speed that it's changing in. So, I think there's a learning curve to this game, no
Mhm.
matter how much of a background you have with other TCGs. So,
Yep.
okay, so we're kind of coming up on time here, so let's keep it moving.
Yep.
So let's just quickly kind of go over the reveals. Which across everything that we've talked about kind of stands out the most to you, or that you're most excited about?
Oh, Barbados.
Yeah,
100%.
purple, 100%.
I
As
think we
much as I
can
love G-Quags,
I think we can all agree that purple is the color that we're most excited for. Um,
it's gonna shake things up. That's for
I
sure.
I
But Zeta.
wholeheartedly agree. Yeah.
But Zeta Gundam.
Yeah.
Just saying that double strike in a white package. Yeah, that little bit of
Oof.
spice the control package right now. I'm sorry.
I
Okay,
think
that's also
I think with the
Yo,
introduction of purple as a color, and also the evolution of colors that we've already seen kind of
Mm.
shift into these different branches, seeing white get more aggressive with this double striking rather than just raw output at first. I think you're right. I think that's a good pick as well. I would say just kind of seeing the evolution of, yeah, like I said, these colors that we're already familiar with. Um, this is kind of an off script question, but just off the top of your head, do you guys have any like wild speculations of what's what's like not even revealed or anything, kind of just what you think is possible for the future of any sort of mechanic or any sort of
you
like
know,
interesting thought provoking
Oh, I
mechanic
got
that they
one.
can add or anything?
I have one as well. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You know what? Take it away. I swear if you take mine though, we're gonna I'm gonna
Okay,
have to come hunt you
I
down.
I guarantee I'm not going to take yours. But as we all know, Wing Gundam 30th anniversary, right? They're working on that. I heard there's a remastered coming out
Mhm.
now. As we've talked about as a team, my favorite Gundam, the Epion. I'm super excited with this 30th anniversary. Are they going to release a set with my favorite Gundam in it? I hope so. But at that point, it's probably going to be a while from now. And, it's going to be interesting to see. They're rolling out a lot of new Gundam really rapidly, and it's going to be wild to see what they come out with next.
Astral, as soon as that card gets revealed, is like, this is the only deck I'm playing. I'm making it meta. This
I'm
is
gonna force it
going
into
to
the
be it.
meta.
I'm literally just going to post pictures of that card 100 a day, get it in the algorithm. Let's make it meta. So
Petition to make Epion meta. I think for me, what I'm hoping they do is they add the new mechanic of equipment, because there's a lot of mobile
Ooh.
suit equipment in the show.
So like
You have
along with the pilot, you have equipment slot for
you
your
have
unit.
equipment, yes, and so you have your striker packs. You have Eclipse Gundam that has 2 different packs. Same with your L Strike. You also have for the Xeon format, the big boy, the planet destroyer that was in Unicorn, the Neo Xeon. Also the biggest Gunpla. It's a 3-foot tall Gunpla.
The biggest Gunpla is actually the 1-for-1 RX-78 in Japan.
Oh, yeah. Plastic. Sorry, plastic
Fair,
Gunpla.
fair.
Thank you very much.
I guess Pla is the plastic part of Gundam, but anyway, yeah, I was
Now,
just.
before we get too off track, I do have to ask. You're talking about equipment.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on bits being added?
I don't think bits will be added for one reason and one reason only. Bits are controlled by, more often than not, and in the comments, viewers, correct me if I'm wrong, are controlled only due to Newtype traits.
Okay.
And so you can't do that for everything. I feel like equipment needs to be universal in a sense, just like how any pilot knows how to technically work a mech suit. Meteor unit plugs in. We'll be getting that when they announce 00 and all that. You'll have Neo Xeon. You'll have the motorcycles, all that fun stuff coming out. That I feel like it'll be very capable for anything to put on. The unicorn equipment. It has its heavy armament, the full armament mode, but it also has its perfectibility.
The Strike Gundam will be
Oh,
insane with all of its packs.
It would be.
So that's something I would be interested to see how they put that into the game.
Now, if they do, when do you think they will do that? Because we already have
there's
a
no
couple.
way.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute, is what I'm thinking.
GD10?
Yeah, around that time?
GD10 to GD15.
That's a very small window for a wild speculation to come in to reality, but I respect the confidence.
Give me my Neo Xeon, and I'll play Xeon again for Christmas next year. Okay, that'll be my Christmas present to Bandai.
There you go.
I'll play Red Green.
My prediction is a little different. It's not necessarily I want to see this unit, but I want to see this mechanic, and that is the being able to look at your shields and know what's coming up. Or
that would be a game changer.
That would.
To combat suppression, putting cards into your shield zone, kind of like life
heal
gain.
your shields. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
See, that could go several different ways, but my biggest thought process there would be if you were to be able to peek at your shields, you'd know if you want to sacrifice a blocker or let it go through.
Yep, I think it's very valuable information that has a very high skill ceiling to it. That I think is unfortunately not utilized right now, but I think as the game develops, they're going to introduce this mechanic, allowing the player more knowledge to make a better play. Because theoretically, there's always like the perfect play. And the more knowledge you have, the more complex that decision to be the theoretical perfect play is.
What if, to combat suppression, and this is really, really stretching it out there, because I feel like it would have to go along with trait. Like in order to bring it out, you would have to have this many of a certain trait out on the field. But a colony.
Okay.
And have a colony there that you can put in your shield zone, and instead of it has attack power of like 2 or 3, so it deals damage to everything, but then it has like you
lower
add 2
defense or something. Yeah.
Or crash a shield.
I was
and
also
it has
thinking
like a 10 health.
like a
or a
base
12
I
a
health.
base
know
with some level of AP would be kind of cool too.
I know we're talking about healing shields, but we also have Gundam out that heal themselves as well.
Mhm.
We like to call the Grandpa Gundam. What if there was a pilot that came out with the ability to heal the Gundam
I think
when paired?
they have no, they have
One.
a pilot that cares about if your unit has repair, I think. I don't
Yeah.
They
Do
And
we
then
do.
have
you
one
have
that gives it repair at all?
no,
No, we don't
nothing
yet.
that
Okay.
gives repair. I know Kigali gives a blocker to white units.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
That's it. All right. Well, there
So
you
it'll be
go,
interesting to see
Bandai.
if yeah.
There's our suggestions. Feel free to use them and run with those ideas. And I don't know if you ever hear this, which you probably who knows, but
Hopefully will. Hopefully.
of course,
Hopefully.
yeah, of course, Bandai's got the ear that close to the ground for sure.
We never know. We never know who's listening and who's watching.
That's fair.
But we appreciate
And I
everyone who does.
give me beta overflowing affection playmat, please.
Just one shows up in your mail then next week.
I would love the beta resources myself.
Okay, let's just move on. So let's thank our sponsor. So big thank you to CardCoop. Go check them out at CardcoopTCG.com. They're selling singles for Gundam, TCG, and pretty much just gaming supplies. So check out their website. We'll put the link in the description or the show notes. And then if you're in the Salt Lake area, feel free to check them out. But yeah, just thank you to them. And then Daxi, I think you have one as well.
Yeah, don't forget, guys, we do help sponsor the Eagle Nest tournaments every Wednesday online. Feel free to join the nest, or go ahead and subscribe to the channel Rizu. With that, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And if you are sub to both channels and or you participate and watch the stream, because you can also just do the stream, and you mention us and you're sub to both, we will be doing giveaways that you will be eligible to enter. I know technically today, as this comes out, we will be giving away a winner's promo unforeseen incident.
Ooh, very pretty.
Yeah, very nice, a very high value card as well, that we were able with a few people to be able to offer, as well as we've given away a Wing Gundam alt art. We've done a playset of Marita Cruises, alt art Battle of Aces, and next week is going to be, we're not going to say what we're tossing in the playset just yet, but we will say we'll be giving away a Unicorn Banshee alt art in next week's
Nice.
tournament. So make sure to check that out or the stream out for that. And we appreciate you guys for supporting us every single day.
Awesome. Yep, we definitely do. So much so that we want to hear from you. So, to our listeners, what do you think of these spoilers that we talked about today? Do you have any wild speculation for what's to come in the near future for future sets? What are your thoughts on purple being the new color and its mechanics and kind of what it does? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're here, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification if you want to see more content like this. If you want to just hear us talk about the game itself, we'll be posting gameplay videos, box openings, vlogs from our travels. So anything related to Gundam TCG, you'll find it here on this channel. And we'd love to see you subscribe and give us any sort of suggestions of content that you want to see.
Feedback is always appreciated. We appreciate all the feedback you guys gave us last week. It's been really great. I know we're working on getting ourselves put onto Apple Music as well as Spotify for podcasts for you
Yep.
audio listeners.
My goal, I'm gonna say it now and write it in stone that we'll have those audios up by the end of this week. So
Perfect.
We'll get that done. We'll get that done for
And
this
of course-
episode and the previous one.
And of course, thank you for all those who have been patient with us and supported us through this process. We
Yep.
look forward to coming out with this content moving forward, and hoping to hear more about what you guys are wanting to learn about, what you guys would like to hear from us. And thank you to all our early supporters here. We will be doing some giveaways as time goes on. I know I'm personally wanting to do a giveaway once we hit 500 subscribers. We've talked about doing one at 1,000. So
Mhm.
thank you for all those who are supporting us in this early stage, and for all the support that we have seen through you guys. It's been amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah, thank you, pilots. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you. So let's go ahead and move on to the end step, where we talk about something fun that we've been doing outside of the world of Gundam TCG. Who would like to talk about their thing first?
I see Astral there with a big smirking grin on his
You
face.
know,
Yeah.
I've been saying it the last couple times we've gotten together. I love to travel. And recently I discovered that there's a lake nearby my house that has um they're basically sub-adult tiger salamanders. It's a protected waterfront. So it is a hike in and hike out type deal. And I'm getting a group of friends together. I know I've invited both of you to come with, but hopefully this upcoming week I'll be able to make it out there and see for myself before the summer's over, before it gets too cold. I'm really excited to do that. It's been on a bucket list since I first saw it at the beginning of summer to go and do that, and I'm just excited to make it actually happen.
Nice.
That's
I'll,
gonna
I'll
be
post
awesome.
I'll post some photos of the little guys up on the overlay. So
I I know we've talked about it. We've been talking about making some socials, so
yeah.
we can do some stories on those socials and possibly have them up by the end of the week as well, and then post on our story about it so you guys can see it as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what were you talking about? You wanted to do Instagram for that?
Instagram, TikTok, just so that we can update our followers, possibly even Facebook. But
We
we'll
have a
see.
link
It's going
tree
to be a
set
lot of
up.
work.
We'll start working on those socials and put them all there so that there's a one-stop
And
shop for all of our social links.
and of
Absolutely.
course, let us know if there's a social you guys would like to see us on as well. Of course, we want to be able to reach out to our community a bit more. So
For sure.
wherever you guys would like to be able to see us a bit more, we'd love to hear about that as well.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Um
absolutely.
yeah,
Well,
Daxi.
for, for me, it's been an interesting week. I mean, I think the highlights of my week was going undefeated. The low points, but something I'm still looking forward to is I have a music festival coming up here in September. It's a camping music festival. I'll be gone for a week, so I'll be gone for that episode. Um, but I was going through and some plans fell through with the people I was going with. And so my ride is no longer there. And so great people in my group. I'm gonna go stay in a fancy yurt, as they call it, with air conditioning and electricity now instead of a tent, which is gonna be nice. But I went to go get my flight times this week, and my silly goose booked his going out and return flight for the week after the festival.
Oh no.
That's
That doesn't
terrible.
sound like
That really
something fun
is.
outside the world of Gundam TCG at all.
It's the one year they decided to change the
It's
dates
the
too.
1 year they decided to change the dates, so I was going off of old dates, but we were able to get a flight out there figured out, and we got the flight back all figured out, so it wasn't too bad of an issue.
Oh,
Just
so you're still going. Cool. Okay.
we're still going. It was a little bit of a headache. I was only up till 5 a.m. one day with Tony as me sitting there on the ground going through a midlife crisis. But really looking forward to that. And then also something that's been really fun is just going out. I went out downtown here in Salt Lake, went up to the Capitol, did some photos and all that. So that was a fun time. Enjoyed going in and seeing the history of that, seeing the art in the art exhibit, and going and doing that as well.
I'll see if you can throw me
Pretty-
some photos and I'll put them up as well in
oh yeah, for sure,
editing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what about you, Ursa?
Yeah, so I have been spending a lot of my downtime reading webcomics on Webtoons. Um,
Solid.
and yeah, there's one that I've been super into lately. It's Everything is Fine. I think there's been advertisements on social media about it, like telling you to like come to Webtoons. But it's like this uncanny, like weird suburbia of these humans in like these like Disney-esque masks, and everyone has to act like totally normal and everything, but there's an insane amount of like surveillance going on, and like if you ever speak out of turn or anything, like something happens. It's very like psycho thrillery.
So
It
everything in
sounds
fact is not
terrifying.
fine.
It
Yeah,
is.
everything is not fine.
You know, I like to listen to other podcasts. One of them is like SCP related.
Yeah.
Sounds very similar to that. Where
It's very like, have you ever
things
seen
aren't as
like,
they appear.
have you ever played like We Happy Few? It's
No, I
I have
haven't.
not.
okay. Well, for any listeners who have or know what that game is about, it's kind of like everything isn't fine, but like every like there's some sort of entity that's trying really hard to make it everyone act like everything is. So kind of like I got really into that, like trying to
That
figure
is
out like,
called
oh,
a
what's happening next.
dictatorship.
Yeah, the kind of, but I don't even know. Like I'm just getting into it now, but kind of just seeing
Keep us
like
updated.
knowing like kind of figuring out like, oh, what's gonna happen, like I don't know. It's a little bit of a viewer discretion advised, but if you're okay with that, I've been having a lot of fun with it, and if that's your thing, I would suggest checking it out on Webtoons because I've been enjoying it. That's my
I
fun
like it,
thing.
and everything is not fine, but it's really good literature, so I
Yes,
like it. I
exactly.
respect it. I respect it.
Awesome. All right. So, shout out again to our new subs. I know we talked about you guys in the beginning, but we appreciate you so much. So, I want to say it
We
again.
love you.
Yes.
Love you.
Thank you. Thank you. And to any of our early supporters. Remember to check out CardcoopTCG.com if you're picking up any of the singles or when these sets release. If you want to pick up those cards, I'm sure they'll be on the store as well. So any sort of Gundam TCG card related or supply related needs, they should be one of your stops for sure.
100%.
So that's going to be it. We're going to wrap up episode 2 of the Newtype Arena podcast. We'll be back again talking about more Gundam TCG related topics. So we hope to see you then.
Okay. Thank you, pilots. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening.
Thank you guys.